Hello. So this is a little, I guess, first time doing this. My name is Gabrielle, and I am a jewelry designer. And I thought it'd be fun to record some videos, I guess, in different parts of the process, because I love artistic videos and I love creative videos, and yeah, so I thought it'd be cool to do one myself. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just gonna start because I feel like the introductions are hard. So I make jewelry. I've been making jewelry for a long time, and I've recently, over the last couple of years, started to create pieces based off of collections or places that I've been. So this is just like some really lame sketches. Oh, that's not good. There we go. Here's some better looks. And my last collection was of, as you can see, Martinique, which was 2021, or not 2019, 2021. That's a long time, but Spring Summer Collection of 2021 is when it was released. And yeah, I visited this gorgeous French island, Caribbean island, back in 2019, and I decided that I'd make the collection based off of the nature and buildings, architecture, which is also buildings, I'm aware, and just, some of the things that I experienced while I was there, small and big, but yeah, a lot of it was inspired mostly by plants, trees, and architecture, structures, and monuments as well. And so I'm going to be doing that again for my next collection, which will be featuring Dubai. I also visited Dubai in 2019. I kind of got all my traveling done right before COVID, thank the Lord. I actually visited Martinique, Dubai, and London all within 2019. So I have 3 prepared collections. I'm very excited to get those done. So I'm finally, after a couple of years, going to be doing my Dubai collection. I might do a video of me showing you some of the Martinique stuff at some point, what I have left. It was like my first run with this new technique that I was working with the jewelry. I'm actually doing things a bit different now. Again, kind of evolutionizing with my jewelry making process, kind of expanding more into an artistic realm rather than just a manufactured style, meaning things that are easily replicatable. I really want to explore more with how creative I can get with how I make my jewelry, especially because I don't really use traditional methods of jewelry design, meaning in luxury jewelry, creating settings or going all the way into the more less expensive side of things, meaning beading jewelry or wire wrapping. I am somewhere in the middle because I really am inspired by luxury design, but love the relative access, I guess, that is available when you are going more into the less expensive side. But so it's I try to pull from the accessibility of what would be I guess costume jewelry, while incorporating the class and high functioning design of luxury jewelry. And that's actually a term for it is called bridge jewelry. So I use semi-precious stones rather than precious stones or diamonds, and I use metals mostly sterling silver plated with gold or rose gold, rather than using copper or bronzes, unlike the more cheaper kind of jewelry. So again, somewhere in the middle. Bridge jewelry is actually the technical term. So in this video, I am actually going to do a little bit of sketching. I've already done a bit of sketching for this collection, which I can show you a little bit of that. But I just want to work on one of my pieces and just chat. So I'm actually just gonna start by sharpening. These are not professional pencils. As you can see, it's a classic number 2 pencil, indeed made in China. I do have professional pencils. I just don't like them because they don't have erasers. And I like the efficiency of an eraser on the end of my pencil. That's really it. I went to art school, way back when, meaning a couple years ago. I did not finish it, but I went to art school, and I got a bunch of professional pencils and equipment and stuff, and I barely use it because I prefer pencils with erasers on it. I'm a simple girl. But I also have a good old classic chunky eraser, pink eraser, with a wonderful, Gen Z, late millennial terminology, meaning that's canceled, which of course makes me very culturally relevant, which is of course my goal in life. In any case, my pencils are sharpened. I've got my culturally relevant eraser and my journal. So as you can see, my little janky journal in the front. I actually created in art school. I created a branding iron in this metals class I was in, which was so fun. It was the first time doing welding, with the sparking welding. I loved it. But I created this logo for my personal brand, Gabrielle Jordan, which is actually now the name of my business. Once named Jewels of Jordan, I now go by Gabrielle Jordan Jewelry. So that's a little bit of background. You're gonna learn a lot about me because a lot of these videos is just kind of be me rambling, I think. Not intentionally, but I gotta fill this up with something. I could just draw silently. That's super boring. So actually, you can see on this page I was doing a little bit of testing some design ideas for this one project this one design, which is what I'm going to be working on today. I'm actually going to be kind of messing around with this design today, based off of what I kind of have here. I might throw up a picture on the screen with what this is particularly inspired by. Before I go into the sketching, let me just show you a little bit of what I've already done. Just a couple of books, some upcoming designs. I might do a video of me coloring these in because I feel like that'd be very relaxing and fun to watch. But I've got a few designs. I'm going to leave it here for half a second, and now I'm going to turn the page because I'd rather talk about them another time. But yeah, I kind of just have a process where when I'm designing, I have my photos, the places, when I went to the places, I took lots of photos. And I have a whole Google Drive where, I look at the photos and keep them up on the screen while I'm working on a piece. And sometimes before I even know what I'm going to be designing, what I'm basing off of, I just kind of scroll through the photos, see if I get inspired at any point. And it's really not about forcing it. You kind of have to sit there with it for a little bit. And sometimes I'll have a show on so that my brain's not too focused on trying to create a design. It just kind of happens naturally. And then at one point I look at the photo at a certain angle, or I zoom in, and inspiration strikes. It's an interesting process, especially if you haven't been designing in a little bit, because like I said, I designed my last collection back in 2019, I believe. No, I designed it in about 2020, going into 2021. So it's been about 2 years since I've worked on a collection. So it does take a little bit of adjusting, and you kind of have to remember how you best get inspired. So I just started off by kind of marking the pages a bit. I'm going to let this be really freeform because I'm not an artist, even though I went to art school. I am an artist, but not 2D. 2D is really not my strong suit. I try. But this is really just for me to get an idea of what I want to do. I have this one particular idea for this piece. You can kind of see here where I'm trying to create almost like this, like it looks like a house shape, like a rainbow silhouette, but like elongated rainbow. It's actually inspired by these buildings that kind of look like boats in a sense, so I'm kind of creating that shape, and it's like open on the inside. And the actual buildings, they are like covered by glass, and like along the sides the glass kind of goes in like this, like there's like two tones, like a darker blue and like a silver, and the glass kind of gets, it kind of creates this, I don't know what to call it, but just like these two-tone looks, you know, with the darker color and the lighter color, and create this like zigzag, I guess, on the building. And so I'm kind of replicating that, and with this square, which is kind of representing the side here of the like boat shape, I'm actually using two different stones here, or potentially two different just one material here, and like a metal, like a stone, square stones, beads, and then probably get or design some square beads that are like metal, maybe. I might do two different color stones, like just do two different stones as well. I haven't decided. I have to do a little bit of searching online for, you know, my materials, but yeah. Any case, I'm gonna just get started with this design. I have one particular idea for this. I don't know if it's gonna work. I really don't know if it's gonna work. I'm hoping it'll work. But basically, it's like creating a couple of these. Well, I either want to create a couple of these like little boat shaped frames, basically, and then fill them up with the stones, and then kind of attach them together so they're kind of like along the necklace, I guess, the neckline. That doesn't make any sense. I'm trying to draw on top, it doesn't work. Multitasking is not my strong suit, I'll tell you that. But yeah. But the idea is to create a few of these little like frames, I guess. And then they're probably gonna get connected like here and like here. You know, like a little connection there. Kind of see what's going on there, right? And these are going to be filled up by my little cube stone, cube beads. Make sure that kind of looks somewhat symmetrical. Oh, gosh. Yeah, anyway, like these little cube beads of varying colors. Maybe just two colors, honestly. I don't know. That works. Three's good. I'm not very good at perspective. It takes a lot of work for me to remember that like there's a perspective shift when you're working at an angle, and look how awkward that looks. I don't know what I'm doing. I went to art school for 2 years, and I came out still not knowing how to do perspective. I need to go back, it would seem, but I'm not. I'm never going back. Okay, I got it. That looks a bit better, doesn't it? A bit better. Okay, that's okay. Anyway, I had two ideas for this design. I either want to do a few of these little like shape things and have them connected along the whole neckline, or if I can manage it, do one long one that just kind of like sits on the neck, which honestly sounds so spicy and nice and seems to work a lot better with the kind of Dubai aesthetic, because like Dubai is a very clean city, like very architectural, very clean, very modern, and I feel like one connected piece would really be a lot more elegant. But the issue is that where I really used to do everything by hand in terms of my jewelry design, like jewelry designing, I did everything by hand, made all my elements and such. But I've just come to realize that like time and energy. I just enjoy more of the designing process much more than I do the actual production process. And I did go to school for a little skill called computer aided design for jewelry, specifically in London. It was actually the Gemological Institute of America, but I went to school in London because I thought that'd be cooler, and it was. But I went there to learn how to basically design elements in a 3D program so that they can be, printed and manufactured and, used. I went and I didn't finish that sentence, but I didn't feel like it. But I think it's really cool because you can do a lot more, a lot better in CAD, meaning computer aided design software, than you can by hand if you're not like super skilled at that. And personally, I'm not. Of course, you can get really skilled. Like, there are incredibly talented, incredibly skilled people who dedicate their time and craft to getting absolutely precise and amazing at jewelry design, making amazing settings and like just wonderfully engineered pieces. I, however, just feel like my strengths lie elsewhere. I feel like it just lies more in design, creating these ideas and bringing them to life. And I can't always rely on the skills of my own hands. No matter how bad that sounds, it does sound a little bad, but I can't always rely on the skill in my hands to bring that to life. And I want to bring it to life. I have these great ideas and these like unique like settings, that I want to create, but I really don't have the tools for it. Sorry, it's gonna be a little loud for a second. Hopefully the background noise isn't too distracting. I might have to pause. Okay, I'm back. My husband came back in. But yeah. So I was just saying, I don't know what I was saying. Anyway, I guess I was just talking about how, I want to bring certain ideas to life. Even though I don't have like certain equipment and certain skills, but it's really actually more about the equipment and the time. And you know what? The real thing is that I have the skills of computer aided design. I might not have a lot of the technical skills to bring about some of the jewelry design ideas that I have, especially things that are not already done in terms of the settings that I'm creating. They have not been made for. It require a lot of my own kind of trial and error, which I don't mind, but I love designing and I love computer aided design, and I went to school for it. So I think to myself, well, why not use this rather useful tool to, bring about my designs? Because I have this tool, I have the abilities, the programs, the software, I have the resources to get my pieces 3D printed, casted, and I love designing it. I love more so the process of, creating these elements, on paper and then virtually, and, just seeing what I can do with it, like I love that process. I love it, love it, love it. And I just feel like there is no reason for me not to do it, do it this way. Do it this way and have fun, like a lot of fun with it that way. This looks kind of accurate, doesn't it? I get perspective really wrong, like a lot. I get perspective wrong most of the time. I'm really not great at perspective. But that is not too awful, I'm realizing. The back, I think, is definitely off. I think because I was doing the lines wrong. Yeah, I was doing the lines all like straight and stuff. I wasn't necessarily following the natural curve. Oh, you know what? There you go. I just need to do that. And then that will work. And then I can just fix it. Oh, fixing it. I'm fixing it. It's being fixed. Okay. That looks a little bit better. Sort of. Okay. Anyway. Like I'm saying, I love designing on paper. This isn't bad. This isn't half bad. In the video, when I look at it from like my perspective, it really isn't bad. I don't mind it. Not bad at all. I'm not gonna connect this line and this line really quick. Yeah. And it's gonna be open on the inside like that. It's cool. I'm wondering if I want to do squares on the bottom too. I might leave it open. I haven't decided. Anyway. And then what I'm doing here is I might do like a darker color on the bottom. And basically I'm creating like this basically this effect that's gonna happen with the stones, that it's gonna look kind of different shapes. I don't know what the word I am thinking of here. Like, I don't know why I cannot think of the word that I'm thinking of. But there's a word that I'm thinking of that describes what it is, the effect that I'm creating here. It's like color blocking, basically. But with the stones is how I'm going to be color blocking, I guess. Actually, I think I want to do it. It doesn't really matter. I'm just kind of... It's something like that. I'm going to do one higher right here to kind of create that look. Yeah, it's cool. Do I do anything else with that? That'll do. Yeah, it looks kind of cool. I like that. Then I'll do the same thing on this side. There's not a lot of rhyme or reason to the whole thing. I'm just kind of going with the flow on it. Obviously, this is also just for my visual design purposes, for me to know what it is I'm going to do. Obviously, when I have the actual stones, I'm going to be doing things the way I actually want to do them, messing around a bit more. But that looks cool. Looks pretty cool, doesn't it? Right. First little sketch down. So basically, I'm trying to decide if I'm going to do like one long tube. But like I was saying, I don't know if I can get that 3D printed. It's possible, but I think that might be really challenging to get one long thing 3D printed. And it might make more sense. Like I might actually be able to do this if like this design, if I do more of the like sections I'm doing, like these little individual tubes, I guess. You might not know what I'm talking about. Specifically because like what I'm creating here is not like necessarily a thing that's been done before, I guess. Maybe that I know of. I mean, I'm drawing from mental inspiration. Like, it's not coming from nowhere, this idea. Like, I know I'm thinking of... There's, like, a mental inspiration that's coming to mind, but I don't necessarily know where I've seen this, but it's kind of a play on what I'm seeing in my brain. I think I've seen something like this before, but not necessarily exactly like this. Like this basic silhouette, I'm certain has been done before in terms of this like kind of house shape as like a setting, but I am working off my imagination. That's why I love the design process. You know, I like... This is not doing it as well. Anyway, I like messing around and I like coming up with new things, you know? Things I've not done before, things I have not seen before. And as I said, I am really working within this, like, the bridge design, bridge jewelry, which is using semi-precious stones, silver, sterling silver and such. It's affordable, and so I'm not really, doing diamonds and stuff. Like, I don't really work in those materials, and so I don't necessarily work within the same framework as those kinds of materials require, meaning like, the traditional settings and stuff. I think I made this one really long for some reason. I tell you, I'm just going with the flow here. There is no rhyme or reason. I tell you right now, there is no rhyme or reason. I exist. I exist with my own ideas. Look how much longer that is in the last one. I'm gonna shorten that. I made that really long for no reason. It's really long. Okay, I'll try and shorten that. I can't tell what it is I'm doing ever. I'm lying to myself for no reason. I'm pretty sure it makes sense that I could not, just by eye figure out exactly the distance that I made the last one. I don't know why I'm beating myself down for not being able to have a perfect eye measurement or whatever that means. Anyway, what am I doing? I'm trying to connect that one. Yeah, that's like that. I did that. That looks normal, right? I think it looks good. I think that looks okay. I'm gonna need to make this one look normal though too. That looks like the same thing-ish. I don't know. I think I'm doing it. That looks awkward. I don't know what I'm doing. I think I've not recorded myself sketching before. So I think I'm psyching myself out a little bit. And that's a problem. Because I need the creative space. I'm gonna get used to it though. It's not you guys' fault. It's me being nervous about sketching technically in public for the first time, or whatever we would call this particular way of whatever I'm trying to say. Words, ma'am. Use your words. I promise you have them. They exist. Okay, that looks okay. Ayo, we did that. We worked it out. It is definitely longer, and I still could not manage to make it shorter, but you know what? That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna make it a little bit shorter. I promise. I'm a little, just a touch bit of a perfectionist. I'm gonna start from the bottom, because then I can gauge. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna create my 4 squares first. That way, I know how long it needs to be. Wow, clever. Look at her. She's thinking. She's moving and she's thinking with the brain that God gave her. What a vision. Look at that. Okay, and then I gotta do a little magic, because the thing about that is that it's gotta do the little boop, roundy bowdy thingy. Like that. So it's still too long. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. What I'm gonna do is just ignore the fact that it's still too long. And just keep doing what I'm doing, because I'm not fixing it again, because it's gonna have too many eraser marks. And I hate when there are too many eraser marks. I genuinely hate it. So that is what I'm gonna call that, and I'm not going to be mad about it anymore. It's perfect. Who else is gonna see this but you and me? However many of you there are, and me. And the sketch is just a sketch. What matters is if I can make these equal, and I can in real life, because I'm going to be putting them all in computer-aided design software. And when I make one, I've made them all. The magic of technology. And let me be very clear. This is not AI, okay? This is not AI. I have my thoughts on AI art. Would I ever do it? I would be ashamed. I won't say I'll never do it because, never say never. But I definitely would feel I would feel a certain way if I ever claimed art or a design that was specifically created in AI as my own art. It would be a thing because, I really respect art. I respect artistry to an extent. I'm not going to discuss what I mean by that, but I respect artistry. I respect the things that are created with one's own hands or developed by one's own mind. I respect it greatly, and therefore I have a hard time calling what is made with AI. I have a hard time calling that art. I have to be honest. I don't know. I don't believe it necessarily is art. This is going to be controversial. I just don't believe necessarily that it's art. I was actually having a conversation with my mom the other day, and she was saying how she had this opportunity to get the honorary doctorate, not even the official kind where a school or some place is recognizing you for all of your accomplishments and now gives you an honorary doctorate. It's just a program where you pay them money and then you can get an honorary doctorate. And I'm just when she said that she was getting that opportunity, I was like, don't do that. What is the point of being called a doctor this, but Dr. Marcella, if you haven't went through the time, energy, education, and much less the real financial work of becoming a doctor? Now, the financial work is less important, but the time, the energy, the education that comes with being able to claim yourself as a doctorate, I feel is pretty massively important to the title itself, because there's a reason why you have that name. You have earned it. You've earned this title. And I definitely have my qualms about people who basically pay to become honorary doctorates. I find it kind of cheap. And, I was saying, funny enough, is that it's kind of how I feel about AI art. It's you either, actually made the art, and therefore you call yourself an artist. You dedicate the time and the energy to create this thing, or design this thing, produce this concept with your own thoughts or your own hands, or whatever. Or you just pay or type in some words into a software and have it created for you, and then you call yourself an artist. That's just my take on it. To be quite honest though, I do not necessarily care enough about what people do with their life in that sense, to have a full-on debate on whether or not it's because people if it's morally okay, or if it's destroying the art markets, or destroying the arts. Look, real art is irreplaceable, right? As a human being, what you create is truly irreplaceable, and if you're afraid that technology is going to replace you, then maybe it's because you're not creating something irreplaceable enough. And I think that's just the mentality that I come from, that I just strive to create, because that's the one thing that technology will never be able to do the way the human beings do. We're the creators, we're the inventors, we're the producers. They just, reply. They follow the command that we give it. And I think that if we just stay in tune with that ability and that design and that strength that we have, we don't really need to necessarily worry about it, because we'll always be able to create something that, AI could never create, or think of things that AI could never think of, because it doesn't really think like we do. We think, we make, we act, we choose. So, any case, that's kind of how I feel about that. So, people who do AI art, good on you. You're making money and you're doing what you can do with what was created. I'm not mad at you for that. I don't consider it art, but that's just me, and I have no real dictation over the art market or what people consider art or how much people are going to spend on something that was made or is considered art. Some things are really beautiful that the AI is producing. It's not your art, it's the AI's art, I would say. But in any case, I always come down to the mentality of do what you're gonna do. It's your life, live it. It's one world, and it really doesn't matter that much to me, at least, because it's just pretty stuff on canvas. I know that doesn't make sense to someone like me, who is literally a jewelry designer, who is calling her work art, but my stuff is just pretty stuff on metal, pretty stones on metal and on string. And obviously I think it's art, and I hold the work that I put into it to esteem. But I just feel like you can't take things too seriously in this world, because there are of course a lot more important things in general to think about than if AI is taking the job of art. I don't know. Maybe that's an ignorant thought, but it's just how I feel about this particular topic, AI art and such. It just isn't, to me, a big enough deal to lose sleep over and become an Instagram influencer. It just isn't important enough to me. Probably ruffle some feathers with my complete and utter lack of interest as an artist myself. But I also have the right to be completely and utterly disinterested in what people do with their time and their money. It's my prerogative, isn't it? It's my prerogative. Yeah, that song. You probably don't know that song. If you're younger than me, you probably don't know that song. Maybe you do. I won't sell you short. If you grew up Black family, you probably know that song. I like listening to all my old R&B. I made this way too wide. Look how much wider that is than this. That's really wide. Am I gonna fix it? Yeah, I'm gonna fix it. Continuity, it's important to me. This is gonna make it work. I'm just gonna make it work. I'm not gonna think too much about it. I'm just gonna make it work. You got to. You just have to. That's the thing. You gotta make it work. That's all you got. All you have is what you can make work. That's something that they firmly believe in life. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just gonna create some lines. Fill these in. These blocks are gonna be bigger than the rest, but it's fine. It's okay. It's okay. Oh my gosh. I ruined it. It's not bad. It's okay. Anyway. That one did not turn out great. It didn't turn out awful. But it's certainly did not turn out great. The great thing though is that I've got like 6 more of these to do. So that's hopeful. Maybe I can get this down to a science. I might not do these. I think I'm just gonna do 4 to kind of get the gist of what I'm trying to create here. And then I'm gonna do like a little connection. I don't know what I'm gonna do in the center. I had to look back at the photo, but I'm like thinking it could just be a chain, you know, like kind of like a chain connection. I could do like a stone in the center. I could do like a drop. That seems a little cheesy. It doesn't look bad though. I'll mess around with that. I'll see what I want to do with that. The negative space though, I think could look very elegant and simple. And I know with this collection, I am trying to create pieces that are a bit more wearable. Because with my last collection, you can probably see I'm going to go back. With my last collection, it was like a lot more statementy. Like, oh my gosh, like the designs were a bit bigger. I didn't do this one. I don't think I went through with that one. I don't think I did. But like, just like kind of a little bit more bigger and like links and just kind of, this one was actually very wearable. Like that one. I didn't do this. I did this one. This one was surprisingly not that wearable because I went really big with it. I went really big and bold with it. This collection just turned out really like very over the top, very statement. To the point where it wasn't really wearable. It was more like, this is for very special occasions, and I guess that's fine. But I just want to do it differently with this collection. I want to create pieces that you can wear to the office, you know, or to, you know, a simple event, you know, business casual, business not so casual, you know, just a little bit more everyday, but still beautiful, obviously. Like, you know, I still want pieces to be statements and just absolutely catch your eye. That's what I love, to create pieces like that, but not to the point where it's just like, when am I ever gonna wear this? Which I found is what I really did with the last collection, and I wasn't necessarily happy with that, because like, I wear my pieces all the time, you know. That's a big thing for me. I wear my pieces. I am my like main model, you know. So if I can't figure out when I'm gonna wear it, you know, how I'm gonna wear it and where I'm gonna go with it, is like, I don't know, that makes it challenging to be my model. And for me too, I know styles and fashions have changed. I'm not really one to go with like trends at all, like definitely not like a trend follower at all. Definitely prefer to kind of oh my gosh, I destroyed that. Also, it's like really far away. I'm gonna redo this one. Definitely prefer to try and make my own trends, or like just kind of work with my own vibe. But I do find that I've been just preferring much more simple silhouettes in terms of jewelry. Like, want more elegant styles, simpler styles, things that like, they stand out, they stick out, they're bold, but they're not like, okay, this is the only time I'm ever gonna wear it type pieces, I guess. I don't think I'm making any sense hands right now, mostly because, again, I'm drawing and trying to talk, and I have not done that before. This is the first time, which would make that particularly a challenging feat, I would imagine. And I don't have to imagine it because I'm literally experiencing it. This is my reality. Okay. Anyway. Yeah. So anyway, I'm saying that I am trying to pare it back a little bit. Just a little bit. This collection, not too much, because like I feel like the identity a lot of my work really is in the absolutely fabulous, you know? Like, I do really stand by the fabulous. I love the fabulous. I love the statement. I love one of a kind. That is my MO. That is where my heart has always been at. It's where it always will be at. But I do feel like as a person, like as an artist, I'm growing in my own style, identity, my own design identity. And I just want my work to reflect that shift, that change. This looks awkward, doesn't it? I'm gonna work on that a little bit because I feel like that needs to be just a touch wider. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. And like, yeah, that looks a bit better. A little bit better. Yeah. Over here messing around. Gotta get focused. That looks better. A little awkward, but better. Get that shape there. We got that waterfall shape. That's. Hey, we getting there, aren't we? You're really working it out, huh? She said, I am growing as an artist. I'm not the same person I used to be. That's the vibes I'm getting right now. Please ignore me. I do speak in a British accent. When I'm just gonna fall into a British accent sometimes. And no, it's not because I was in London for a few months. I was doing that way before I went to London. So, let me clear that up. Clear up the rumors. Okay, I'm just gonna kind of connect this. If that's a little wonky, I don't care. Let it be wonky. I say, let it be wonky. That is a reference to Let Them Eat Cake, and it is relevant. It's culturally relevant. Everything is culturally relevant. This is giving a look. I might go in and make some changes later, but I'm just going to keep going and finish up this design with the last little bit of time I have with you today. Actually, within this like final few minutes, I have more than final. I don't know why I'm like talking like I have this schedule. I don't. I'm just here. I'm just vibing and existing right now with you. But I don't want this to go too long. So I think that's what I'm talking about. My brain's trying to like tell me what I want because I'm not thinking about it right now. Anyway, one thing I really want to talk about is like, so on my Instagram, like my personal or my business, Gabrielle Jordan, just Gabrielle Jordan or Gabrielle Jordan Jewelry, I was doing this like post series called Ask the Right Questions, because basically what that was wanting to help people to kind of get unstuck from certain ways of thinking that kind of keeps them exactly where they are. I have dealt with mental health issues for a few years, actually. at this point. It's not as much as a struggle as it used to be. Really all that's left that I'm working through is anxiety. But I used to deal with depression, suicidal thoughts, compulsion, I would call. I think there's a specific word, but I keep forgetting what that actual terminology is. But yeah, I dealt with that. And yeah, that went on for years, since I was 13 to 14 years old. And a lot of it had to do with my childhood in terms of what I did as a child. Like I'll probably talk about it another time, but I was really in the spotlight a lot as a kid, and I just didn't feel like I could express things that I was struggling with, because I felt like I needed to just stay strong, I guess, and focus on kind of everything that I've built and not let it crumble. But in doing so, I was kind of crumbling because I didn't tell anybody anything about anything, what I was dealing with, how I was feeling, until it really just kind of started to make its way out of me in the form of mental illness. And also partly I didn't really know what was going on. I didn't know why I was feeling the way that I was feeling. So that also was a reason why I didn't talk about it. But in any case, I found that I kind of, instead of just being honest with myself how I was feeling, I would just push things down as if it didn't exist. And to the point where I fully believed, basically that things that I was experiencing was wrong, or me just being weird, or dramatic. And I feel like part of that is also because I kind of grew up in a household where, your struggles, they were more a problem to be solved rather than experience to be unpacked. That means that rather than something to actually be felt, it's just something to try to work through, whatever it is. You sprain your ankle, work through it. If you're tired and you're run, just keep on pushing. You just keep going forever and ever, no matter how you feel. You got asthma, learn how to control your asthma. And the thing is, that's not necessarily a bad way of being, but at the same time, it's not necessarily conducive to healthy thinking about what it is you are experiencing, and asking yourself what's wrong, and how do I feel about it. And it's okay to be feeling this way, and you don't have to feel this way forever, but right now you do feel it, and that's fine. A little bit, it doesn't leave a lot of room for really, I guess, nurturing your struggles, and finding peace in the pain, because I always end up thinking that there was something wrong with me, and that I didn't deserve to feel the way that I was feeling. And that really became a big thing, to the point, where now when I do struggle with things, it's like I have a hard time believing myself, in a sense, which is that's messy. It's a messy place to be in. I think I made a mistake. Sorry. I got distracted. I need to make a fix. One second. I'm like having this deep and important conversation, and I'm like, oopsies, I made a mistake. Oops. 1 second. Oh, think I see what I did wrong. Okay. Wait, did I do it? I can't tell what's going on here. Oh, it's because I'm doing it in like weirdly in the opposite direction. I don't know why I did that. That's so weird. Why did I do that? Well, it's happening now, so I kind of just have to live with this decision that I made. The continuity is a bit off. Not gonna lie. I don't really know what I was thinking with that. Why did I do it that way? That's so weird. I'm having like this really important conversation now with you, and now I cannot help but be confused. Okay, I see it. We're getting better now. I need to like fix this thing because that is not gonna work. It got so short though. It got so short and stubby. That's unfortunate. Okay. Anyway. Okay. Oh, that looks bad. It's too intense. The shape is too intense. Better. I messed it up, but it's okay. We're gonna roll with the punches on this one. Alright. This one's bad. It's kind of getting worse and worse as I go. And that's just the nature of the game. Oh no, it's really not good. But hey, you gotta circle back to my previous conversation. You gotta just be okay with it. That's the thing too. It is just design. It's just a sketch. I basically have what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing now. At this point, I'm just kind of doing this for me, to have fun with it, to kind of get get the image out and the shapes and the sizes out. So I can breathe. It doesn't have to be perfect. I don't need to make it like a work of art, because I know like this is not where my art's at. This is not where I really shine as an artist, and that's really fun. You know? Okay, oh, it looks a little bit better because I kind of breathed for a second. Breathed for a second. And I feel a lot better about it. How about that? Right? But yeah. That's actually kind of one reason why I wanted to start doing this. It's kind of like, I don't know, therapy in a sense. Just talk. Talk to you, talk to myself, but mostly to you. And anyway, what I was trying to say before I was rudely interrupted by my own lack of attention to detail. I was doing this series on my other Instagram about like asking the right questions, which was really just focused on basically asking yourself the kinds of questions that get you unstuck, you know? And I was doing that for a little bit, for like a month or two, and I was getting ready to go ahead and do it again for like another quarter or so. But I found I didn't really have the response that I was looking for. Like, not that it was a bad response, but I just wasn't sure people were connecting to the particular way I was sharing that content at that time. Maybe it needed to be a bit more connective. And so that's why I decided to start doing this. I thought that this would be kind of a better way to connect with people, and particularly like even bring up those questions, right? But through this platform, rather than just like through kind of having these like words in a square on Instagram. If you've seen the photos, you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, that's why I decided to, this is another reason why I decided to do this, because I thought that maybe it could be a bit more connective. And I do want to connect a bit more, you know? I can be a little antisocial when it comes to social media, funny enough. And I thought that I could really work on that particular thing by connecting in a way that I feel comfortable, in a way I feel like myself. And I definitely think that this has that potential of being that kind of an outlet for me. Yeah, allowing that kind of connection to happen, which is exciting to me. I think that's really cool. So, we will continue to see how this goes. And post here on YouTube, but then the long form stuff on Instagram. And maybe I'll start doing the ask the right questions. Maybe I'll pose one now. I was thinking maybe I could, and I think that maybe I will, just because, like, why not? It's been very helpful for me to even do them, ask the right questions thing, because it's like just giving me ways to think about things in different light as well. That's been very helpful for me. So, okay, so I just realized that a lot of the audio was not like recording like for the last few minutes, and this probably was not seen until just now. So I said a lot of stuff that did not get picked up on, and that's okay. Honestly, there'll be a time and a season for that, I guess. What I'm just gonna go ahead and do is just gonna kind of finish up by just drawing, and actually I'm gonna release that one. I'm gonna finish up by just drawing and just letting the kind of drawing sounds remain here, because I feel like that'd be really nice. So I'm just gonna do that. And yeah. get impatient. I'm trying to finish this up. I'm like getting like impatient, but I'm gonna try and slow down. Just kind of like take my time with it. Take time with it, right? It's a bit wide. Fix it just a little bit. It's a bit better. You can tell I'm getting impatient because look how sloppy that looks compared to the other ones. That's what happens. I'm just getting sloppy. Look, don't judge me. Don't judge me and I won't judge you. Okay? Promise. It's my promise to you. You don't judge me. I won't judge you. I'm gonna take my time. But like, it's also, this is past my bedtime. I think it's almost 8 o'clock. And yes, almost 10 o'clock is indeed past my bedtime. Like I said, don't judge me and I won't judge you. That's gonna be our rule here. If you don't judge me, I won't judge you. I won't judge you either way. But like, I especially put like even more effort into not judging you if you decidedly do not judge me. Like that's my solemn vow to you. And I take solemn vows seriously because I am married. So you can trust that my vows are indeed solemn. Okay? They are indeed solemn. It's turning out. It's not bad. It's ugly, but it's not bad. And that's important. Gosh. Help her, please. Help her. She's going crazy. She's Russian. The girl is Russian. Help her. If she keeps rushing, she's gonna ruin it. Okay. There you go, Gabby. Why is that gap so much bigger than all the rest? I'm not gonna think about it too much. Actually, I am. Actually, I'm gonna think about it a little too much. Okay, very well. Beautiful, beautiful. Alright, let's finish this up. My husband is patiently waiting in the kitchen to get back into the bedroom. That's kind of why I'm rushing a little bit, because he's trying to get back into the bedroom. And I'm like, he's patiently waiting in the kitchen, and I appreciate him so much for that. It's so sweet. Such a sweetheart for that. So I'm gonna speed through this final bit, and it's not gonna be as elegant and as well attuned as it could be, and that's because I love my husband, and I feel like that's a good reason. That's a reason enough to rush. Again, I know the design now. Like, literally all the rest of this is just for my kicks and giggles and for the sake of the video. That looks bad. We know that it's gonna look bad from this point on because we have hit an agreement that my rushing is for the sake of my poor sweet husband who understands the value of content creation. Okay, don't look at it too much. We're gonna ignore this one. I'm just gonna fill this in, create my little cool high-low situation here. I'm not gonna think about it too much. Yeah? Yeah. Sometimes you want to control art, alt delete your own art. I wish I could do that. So I need to be learning like 3D draw, like draw on like tablets. So you can control alt delete. And you do more than you want to do. Alright. Heck yeah. We did it. It's done. Alright. Nice. I kind of flipped it on the end, you know, I got impatient at the end there, but the design is here. And I hope that like you guys can make out what it is that's going on here. I'm gonna be working on this a bit more to figure out what I want to do like in between. Obviously too, when I get like the actual elements and stones and everything, that's really when it's going to come together. I find that the design that I draw on paper rarely looks the same as what happens when it's out, when it's made, or when it's in CAD. It just ends up being a bit different because when you start really working on it, you know what's actually possible and what's not, and things change. It's all about flexibility. But yeah, this is good. I'm excited. You probably can't make out exactly what this is gonna look out, but I will probably do videos doing like CAD work, like when I'm doing the CAD designs, and kind of do like the 3D drawings, like 3D work, and just do kind of like maybe some mouse clicking videos, and maybe some music, or just like talking again, if that sounds cool. But yeah, I am excited for you guys to kind of see a bit more of how this will actually look when it's when it's more in the design process, or like in the production process using CAD and stuff. But yeah, this is good. This is what I was going for. I'll work on it a bit more and you'll probably see changes. But yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this, and I hope that you'll join me with other videos. We'll see what other things I create. This was fun. I think I had a good time. We'll see as I keep going, get more comfortable with the whole setup of like actually having you guys along in my design process. But yeah, I had fun. We'll see how it goes. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you'll join me for the next one. Okay.